on the record. The time now is 4 minutes past 4. It is Saturday, February the 13th of the year Lord 2021. And we are continuing in the cross-examination of the false and misleading representations in violation of Title 15, Section 1692E, presented by a criminal counsel who is bringing all this false and misleading information into the record. We are going to be okay. 12 pages alleges Judge Mercer is a trespasser. It is a trespasser. When a judge is sitting on the bench, the judge has to administer the law. It is his job. He's not a prosecutor. And for a bogus entity or fictitious entity such as a corporation, as Bank of Albuquerque, it is bogus, fictitious, it's a corporation. NA means not applicable. This document we are reading, whatever it is that you wrote, because we are doing the best for the record, and we know that you speak this language. That's why we are reading it in your language. But for the Honorable Adelina Arriaga Pedrosa does not read Babel, you are in violation of the 1964 Disabilities Act. This gives anybody dyslexia. Dyslexia, and it doesn't have any specifications. Now, we're reading it for the record because here you claim that for the Honorable J. Jesús-Arriaga Once and for the Honorable Adelina Arriaga Pedrosa sent and filed self-executing contracts against other judges as filed in federal and district courts. Well, thank you for mentioning it into the record. Thank you for your acknowledging. This is forensic evidence of acknowledgement. And it reads here that are attached for unknown reasons. Page 28 of the criminal complaint has a heading that alleges that additional judges in the 13th Judicial District Court are trespassers, wrongdoers, rapists, correspondents. The irrelevant, scandalous, and nonsensical document go on for a total of 68 pages. Okay. Final answer? Well, you wrote it. It's got to be your final answer. So, in page 28 of the criminal complaint has a heading that alleges that additional judges in the 13th Judicial District Court are trespassers, wrongdoers, rapists, and correspondents. The irrelevant, scandalous, and nonsensical document goes on for a total of 68 pages. So you acknowledge to have read 68 pages. For the record. Final answer, they are not trespassers. Have you posted a bond of $2.5 million to bring any controversy into this Superior Court of Record? No. Are you in violation of the bond requirements? Yes. Are you subject to penalties and punishment? Absolutely. What happens if I go and barge into any hearing in any court and I bring a document, throw it on the table, and I haven't even meet the requirements pursuant the commercial law, the remedy has to be brought by the claimant. You claim they are not trespassers. Final answer: we're gonna get you another perjury because you have earned another perjury by saying that they are not trespassers, wrongdoers, rapists, and correspondents. Because now you're going to have to prove that. And without the bond requirements, it clearly states in the criminal complaint that several penalties will apply for those who violate the bond requirements. And you are one. So penalty for violating the bond requirements of $2.5 million is $2.5 million. Now you're trespassing on the case. Now you are presiding in the Superior Court of Record without the bond requirements, without your certificate of authority, without your proper oath that satisfies the Article 6 of the Constitution. You are in violation of Title 4, Section 101. You are in violation of 6 CFR 37.3. That's federal rules. That's federal rules. CFR Code of Federal Rules. 6 CFR 37.3. Go read it. You are not using your name in all legal process. The legal name must be used. And we put a document here in front of you. That's why we had it here. Elizabeth Fry, Elizabeth Lawton, Elizabeth B. Friedenstein, or Elizabeth B. Lawton, plus other 2 aliases that you may have. You're not using your real name. And it is on the record. Did you challenge? Can you challenge? And now you are the counsel for the federal judges. You are bringing information here suggesting that they are not trespassers, that they are not wrongdoers, that they are not rapists, that they are not correspondents. I'm going to have to get you for 4 perjuries here, Elizabeth. 37, 38, 39, 40, and 41. In the criminal complaint, all trespassers, wrongdoers, correspondents, rapists are listed on attachment 1. And you are one of them. You cannot participate in this any longer. You are disbarred. You were requested for your insurance. You don't have insurance? Hey, you're throwing your practice away. You're practicing without insurance. Might as well just throw you in jail now. The irrelevant, scandalous, and nonsensical document go on for a total of 68 pages. Okay, now. Irrelevant, 1. Scandalous, 2. Nonsensical, 3. Final answer? It's got to be your final answer. You wrote it. This is your writing. In legal process, those who write the document are responsible for its contents. You know it, counsel. Now that I like to talk, and now that we can talk without interruption, now that we can tell you exactly what's going on for the record, on the record, and with this on the screen for the record, it's a much better life. This is how life is. This is not a bogus transaction. This is not corporate. This is common law of England by one of the people who wrote the Constitution. The people. For who? For the government. I'm going to refer you to this video below and watch the entire video of the Constitution. And watch my statement or the statement after the video. This Constitution is enforced. And the self-executing contracts says all rights reserved, treaties, and Constitution enforced. This is where you start getting in a real deep trouble, because now this is case law. This is case law, you know. Whatever happens in this case is going to be perpetually saved for those similar cases. And guess what? All of your cases are similar in relation to foreclosure. Because your foreclosure do not exist. You do not exist. You're a corporation. Corporations exist. Ghosts exist. Do you know the difference between people and ghosts? Let's see. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. We can't go against that, correct? So, can the Father be the Son? Or can the Son be the Holy Ghost? Or the Son of the Holy Ghost can be real. Corporations are fictitious entities. You are taking the name from the Honorable Jesús-Arriaga. You are taking fractions of the name for the Honorable Adelina Arriaga Pedrosa. It's on the record. You are taking two fractions and making a different entity, which, by the way, you are making a presumption of a corporation. Are people corporations? Are we going to go and play this game back and forth, back and forth, back and forth? Okay, here, I'm going to make this claim into a corporation, but and then down two lines, we're going to charge the real man, the real human being. Well, we read the inclusion. And for some lady in Santa Fe, New Mexico, at Supreme Court, she said that vehicle is also an automobile. I say final answer. Hey, they know me around here now. You see me? I'm going to listen. And when you finish lying, I'm going to tell you final answer. You're lying. And I'm going to give you, 3-4 more perjuries for lying. Now, I just charged you $2.5 million for violating the bond requirements of the Superior Court of Record, in which you were told exactly that several penalties will apply. And that's $2.5 million. Now we're going to talk about $2.5 million, $2.5 million, which in real money is $25 million. 25. Okay. You didn't see the performance bond, didn't you? Oh, did you see it? You claim you read these documents. This is where the buck stops. You say in this on the nonsensical documents go on for a total of 68 pages. Did you read each one of them? If you didn't read all of them, how can you call nonsensical those that you didn't read? So we are taking you that you read them because you brought it into the record. You say for a total of 68 pages. The 68 pages are heavy with standing decision by the Supreme Court. And we have Squire Roberts. He can see it. You can't. Let's do this. Do you see what I see? The answer is no. Do I see what you saw? The answer is no. Do you see what I saw? The answer is no. In the 68 pages of the criminal complaint that you saw, it is also mentioned that other documents, 57 pages, were filed. Did one Elizabeth B. Freudenstein read those other 57 pages? Because you mentioned 68. So I'm going to have to give you another perjury because it's not 68. You are committing perjury. It's more than 68. If one Elizabeth B. Freudenstein did not read the first 57 pages that were filed as a sworn statement to the Central Violations Bureau at the United States Court's Chief Presiding Judge Justice at P.O. Box 7805549 at San Antonio, Texas, and the zip code is 78278. Perjury number 42. Perjury number 42. After this 4 perjuries, you are claiming they are not trespassers, they are not wrongdoers, they are not rapists, and they are not correspondents. Did you read the first 57 pages? You say that this document is nonsensical in what respect? You don't challenge like that. So if you bring me a document, I say, oh, that's nonsensical. What happens if the U.C.C. 1-308 is in there? Are you calling the U.C.C. 1-308 nonsensical? Since when reserving your rights is nonsensical? Do you think I got this white hair overnight? Do you think my white hair came overnight? It's knowledge. It's audit. It's the law. Squire Roberts will agree, correct? It's the law. So now we hear President Biden saying that it is all about the rule of law. Do you want to go against President Biden and say, hey, your law is nonsensical? The UCC is nonsensical. To reserve your rights is not nonsensical. In what country can you be prohibited from reserving your rights and call it nonsensical? So for that, I'm going to have to give you another perjury because it's not. If you want to call F1 Elizabeth B. Freudenstein writes that it is nonsensical. And it gets better down here, okay? Because keep your eyes open, don't fall asleep on me. Because you wrote some pretty sensitive stuff in here. Because you don't know. This is forensic evidence. Your insurance cannot argue different. It's an audit of law. Have you ever been in front of an auditor? Have you ever been in front of Congress? Or the Congress Oversight Committee? You are now. All of you trespassers, corresponders, wrongdoers, rapists. We couldn't have taken you over there if you had withdrawn, document was written, withdraw or be liable. You declare war. You did not withdraw. Mr. Carl W. Ravestick, you were asked for a documentation that allows you to administer the estate and property of a deceased. In this documentation, one Elizabeth B. Freudenstein, or Freudenstein, or Luton, or B. Luton, or whatever, brought you a claim against the dead people. From that minute onward, you have no right, and there is not a will or a trust or an agreement. And there is nothing that you could present and file in support of having that authority. And therefore, you have no authority. Nothing on the record show that you file something that will give you authority. The authority was questioned, the jurisdiction was questioned, the rights were reserved, you were compelled to serve the bench warrant. And you wrote a letter. You said you were not going to do it. You say the court did not exist. You said that a lot of nonsensical, because that is nonsensical. You're on the people's court. People aren't real. And this is not George Wapner's. Come on. Perhaps when you were little, Cindy Mercer, perhaps when you were young, Elizabeth B. Freudenstein, perhaps when you were in Oklahoma, watching the People's Court and Judge Wapner, that's when you decided you wanted to be a lawyer. But it was the wrong choice, because you are not a lawyer. You are a trespasser. If you are corporate law, maritime law, 1, corporate law is for corporations. 2, maritime is for the water. Maritime. You are on the land. In front of people. Your law is worthless on land. Can a Rolls Royce do well underwater? It has to be a submarine. Can a boat do well on land? And this is where your boat stops. This is where you realize that you claim something that you are not. And therefore, I'm going to give you another perjury because you're lying. You have committed another perjury because you advertise as an expert on maritime law. A maritime contract was thrown your way. And you show that you did not know it. When is it the last time that you deal with a maritime contract? By one of the people. That's why you're lost. You know what martial law is? Martial law, under Rule 203, jurisdiction over the offense. If anybody comes and violates your mother's rights, your mother has the right of privacy, correct? What happens if somebody sneaks in there when she's taking a shower and then that's violation of privacy, isn't it? And everything that happens after that. What if your mother screams, "Get out of here"? And the perpetrator won't. Would you be happy? You have a mother, don't you? You have a father, don't you? You see other people like somebody that you can prey on by applying your corporate law to them knowingly that is not for people? For starts, you don't know what you're doing. You're lying. You were explained about universal or the Uniform Commercial Code. And if this law here is a law or is a corporate law, it has to give remedy. The remedy is 1-308. Since when you claim that to claim remedy or reserve your rights is nonsensical, we're going to have a talk. We are talking. Final answer? Final answer, you must have this as your final answer because one Elizabeth B. Freudenstein wrote that to reserve your rights under UCC 1-308 is irrelevant, is scandalous, and nonsensical. Final answer. It's not. It's not irrelevant because you have the right to reserve your rights and protect your rights. Because if you couldn't protect your rights, well, then you had no rights. And for all of you that receive this lawful notification, it starts saying that pursuant your oath, you have to go by the rules, or else it's felony. It's felony perjury of oath. When you took an oath, did you swear to uphold the Constitution and protect the people? Yes, you did. In this case, you are not upholding the Constitution. And it is obvious that you are raping one of the people willingly, knowingly, maliciously, negligently. You know, Squire Roberts can see it. This is the very law that it was decided on his very courtroom. This is standing decision by the Supreme Court of the United States. How is it that I don't have a correct adjective? Because it is despicable. So we said, okay, to reserve your rights is not irrelevant, so therefore you have another perjury, perjury number 43, and I'm going to put it here also in the document for everyone to be on the same page. Perjury 43. Perjury 43, at this point, you're not getting out. No, you're not. None of you are getting out. Unless Squire Roberts' decisions are bad decisions. It's not as scandalous, so that's 44. It's not nonsensical, that's 45. 43, 44, and 45. Perjury. After I finish this video, I'm going to post another little clip where I left you a message in your service. Message 1. You were to contact the Superior Court of Record for an analysis of this very document. The record shows you've never called. Now we have forensic evidence of failure to appear. Therefore, you are a fugitive, and hereby are commanding the Interpol and the U.S. Court-Martial to come and pick you up. But first, we ought to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you an opportunity to turn yourself in, because something is going to happen if you don't. If you turn yourself in, if you go and walk into the marshal's office and say, "I'm here to turn myself in. This is my 6 names, and I got involved in this conspiracy against a federal judge and a kidnapping of a conspiracy against 2 federal judges." From the Military Welfare Service. And I don't want to go to the electric chair. I'd rather eat potatoes for the rest of my life. But if you are one that you say, "Hey, I'm not going to turn myself in," and you run, now you have commuted your sentence. All of you. To the electric chair. Squire Roberts will agree that his law, and that the law decided that the law is a standing decision of the Supreme Court, cannot be overturned by any bogus, fictitious piracy. That's violation of Title 18, Section 241 and 242. Go read it. Denial of rights under color of law. These are the consequences that happen. This video is also being placed in front of the International Court at the Peace Palace. In case Squire Roberts wants to throw it on the back of his car, no, it's not going to happen. It's violation of international treaty, violation of protected people by the Geneva Conventions of August 12, 1949. Go read it. And Protocol 1 of June 8, 1977. Where were you in 1977? You were born in 81, correct? You were not born yet in 1977, where you came into this world as real people. Then you went to law school. And when you went to law school, they taught you how to thief, how to cheat, how to lie, and how to steal. One thing they did not tell you is that if you get caught, it will be your problem. And you have been caught. All of you have been caught. All of you. This is nothing to be joking about. When you kidnap somebody, doesn't have a life anymore. It's a life-changing situation. For the Honorable J. Jesús-Arriaga Once is a 62-year-old man with disabilities.